Hey, good evening, everybody. Bruce Foster here, Jetski Republic. I'm your host. That was the guys over in from my homeland. Jamie Parsons from Jetski Scotland. Yep, that's right. You heard it right. Scotland. They do jet ski in Scotland as well. Um, suppose probably the one good summer's day of the year over there, but a cracking little video. It's actually a series of videos that were up on TikTok. Um, Jamie posts his stuff up on TikTok and he's on Instagram as well. So if you're interested in what he gets up to, yeah, look him up on both platforms. He doesn't have a Facebook page, but certainly worth checking him out and see what they've got up to in the past and what they're getting up to in the future. So, Jamie, thanks for sending me those videos through. They really appreciate that. So tonight, what we got on tonight? Listen, as far as the roundup's concerned, there's not a great deal going on at the moment as far as what's happening here in Australia. There's plenty going on overseas in America and that racing this weekend. Just before we continue with that, before we move on from that, big shout out to Bailey and to Bobby Cordon, who are racing this weekend, especially Bailey flying the flag for Australia. They're at the P1 Aqua X race at Sarasota. So all the best, Bailey and Bobby. Go give them hell, mate, on that weapon that you've got, and see how you go. Have fun, guys, and stay safe. So let's I'll move on to the other screen, and we'll just look up some stuff. Like I say, it's a bit quiet here at the moment, and hang on. Yeah, it's a bit quiet here at the moment. We've got let's see, we'll go with this one first. So this one here is over in New Zealand, and this is for our people over there. I don't know if anybody's making plans to go from Australia to here. It's probably a little bit short notice to get shipment over there, unless you can get a boat or get a ski from somebody over there. Jet Ski Racing New Zealand, they've first round of their Winter Enduro Series. There are certain conditions that they want you to fulfill or to meet. So you'll need to check out those requirements. Go to their Facebook page and click on the link in their Facebook page. It'll tell you what that requirement is, and keep you right from there. So if you have any questions, drop them a message, and they'll keep you right. So if you're thinking about heading, even if you're thinking about heading over there just to watch it, and see what these guys get up to. So yeah, there's the details there. You'll find all that on their Facebook page. What else have we got? QPWC has their awards booked in for the 27th of August, and that's at the Brisbane Village. I think it is on the south side. I think it's just off the Pacific Highway. It's the Brisbane Holiday Village. That's what it is. So yeah, the prize givings for the season. That's where the date is, 27th of August. There'll be some more details, obviously, to come out. Still no word on what's happening with their AGM. I've been informed it's the end of the year, but as to what the end of that year looks like, I'm not entirely sure. Members would probably have a better idea than I do. So it would be pretty good if, yeah. Hey guys, how you doing, mate? Yeah, so it would be pretty good if we can get an update as to when the AGM is going to be. I know that New South Wales and also WA, I think it was Victoria. Sorry, they've called their AGMs. They're trying to get as many members to it as possible. So, guys, remember, if you're a member, you can vote. If you're not, get yourself a membership. Clubs are always looking for new members, including the QPWC. Where else are we? I've got a little rec ride shout out here. Give me a second, let me flick that page. Alright guys, I'm not sure if you can see that one. Handy George, you've probably seen him out on the Jet Ski Mackay page. He's posted on various other social media pages. He's planning a ride out to to Keswick and out around the islands next week at some point. He's hoping either Wednesday or Thursday, but that's going to be weather dependent. So keep an eye out on that one and see, you know, if you're interested in it and you're up that way, definitely hook him up. Hey Pete, how you doing, mate? Yeah, so check the Jetski Mackay page. If you're wanting the real name, it's George Gamble, but it's usually Handy George. He goes by. Yeah, so drop him a message if you're interested and you're up that way. I would imagine Morn might be involved in that one as well, but I might be wrong. But yeah, so there's a rec ride. It's coming up. Big one. Early start. They're hoping to be back mid-afternoon. So you can see the details there. If you're not a member of the Jetski Mackay page and you can't see this post, just join up. Then you can obviously see it, or drop George a message, and he'll explain to you what the trip is. Right. So what else we got? The last thing is just a bit of a shout out to I've got Kev Whiteley and Matt Brown, who did a little, well, they didn't do a little trip, they did a 400 kilometre trip around the islands down this way. South Stradey, North Stradey, Morton, Bribie. I'm not sure what there was 5 islands. I can't remember what the other one was. It's because we've now got that new, I think it's because we've got that new channel up at the northern tip of Bribie, which kind of classifies now 5 islands. So it's one of those relive videos, so there's not a great deal amount of footage as such, but I wanted to give them a shout out because it's a big trek, it's a big ride, by anybody's standards, and I just wanted to share this with everyone. Certainly is, Adrian. Definitely are, Adrian. Definitely are. We've got all this on our doorstep and we don't take advantage of it enough. Yeah, so there you go. 401 kilometres. God knows how much fuel they were using. Certainly a trip in itself. Certainly a trip in itself. But hats off. And what I love about it was the customary finish at Tipler's for a bite to eat and a drink. a well-earned drink, I might add as well. Listen, Kev and Matt, well done, guys. Awesome effort. Well done. Okay, so let's go on to our guests now. There's a bit of a story behind this one. I've had to pre-record this segment. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a mix-up with the communication. I'm not blaming anybody, Pete, but yeah, we had a bit of a mix-up with the dates. I contacted the Pete, Jetski Pete, yesterday morning to see if he fancied coming on, and told him told him it was tomorrow night or tonight. Sorry, and some reason he thought it was last night. But yeah, hey, mistakes happen. I believe it was his wife that pointed it out to him that he got his nights mixed up. But the problem there was he was busy tonight, so he couldn't actually do the live show. So I agreed to pre-record the segment with him, and also with his partner in crime, Gaz Kroozer. So let's just run this segment, and guys, it's a bit all over the place, but it's funny. These guys are crazy, but I love them for it. So here you go. Here's the recorded segment.
Let's get into
All
it.
right, guys. Welcome finally to getting
welcome.
on.
Thanks, Bruce. Welcome too. How you going? All your technical issues fixed?
They are actually, yes. Are yours all fixed?
Yeah, seems to be working.
Mikey, he's happy.
Yeah, seems to be working. No technical problems
I
now.
wouldn't touch that in case you break it now.
I've been playing with that all day.
Hey, let's keep it clean now.
We just get started.
So how's things with you
Good.
guys then?
Good, fantastic. Happy to be here.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, things are great. Pete went out on the weekend. I couldn't go out because my dash decided to catapult off the ski and all the rest, and just hang on by the cables.
It's because he's too rough on the gear. That's the problem.
I don't think so.
Was
But
that in the middle of a jump?
that was testing out on Saturday in Port Phillip Bay. The thing just rattled loose and just went whoop, and I had to baby it in, hold onto the
Now,
dash.
one question there is, how long are you able to fix it with the existing display?
It needs a new plastic housing that I ordered.
Right, okay. So you're
It'll
not having
be
to get
up
a
and running
completely
before the
new.
weekend.
Right, okay.
Up and running before the
Yeah,
weekend.
'cause this weekend
Right.
we've got a ride happening on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to go regularly.
And have you got a time and a ramp that you're going from?
No, because we're still wanting to see what the winds are going to do.
The weather gods have to communicate just a little bit more with us,
Yeah.
and then we'll be able to work out what we are doing.
Yeah,
Got
here's
ya.
where it's coming from, where we go. You coming along on Sunday?
I wish I could. Give me a
And-
second.
and
I need to
why can't
resize
you?
this.
Why can't you?
I think he's in Queensland. But there's no reason he couldn't get a flight down here. But there's a couple of
There's
extra
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to get here.
There's plenty of bloody time.
There's plenty of
It
skis
sounds
here.
to me like that's just an excuse.
You two are like a double act.
That's why we're together.
Yeah,
That's why we wanted to be in the same room.
make it more fun for everybody.
No,
I should have realised that when you said you were gonna pop across and do it together in the same place. I thought, oh god. So
The dynamics are better.
so how many of you normally go out? Is it just the two of you, or is there a bigger bunch of you?
No, there might be 4 or 5 of us that ask that regularly, so like go out,
Yeah.
so like jumping waves. This time of the year for down in Melbourne is on the cold side,
Yeah. Damn right.
and you can count on one hand almost how many so like go out.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it amazes me how many people Wednesday go, yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, oh, I'd really like to come. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And it's all over Facebook. And then Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, oh, my car's broke down and my dog has a broken leg and I need stitches in my left thoriacus and I can't come. Sorry.
So make sure your thoriacus is working. But
Makes
no,
sense.
there's it really restricts because it's cold. It really restricts who wants to sort of go out.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
I mean, we offered you to come out on Sunday. What was your response?
nah.
Nah, nothing.
Nah.
Crickets.
Hey, listen, I might be from Scotland, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm quite friendly with the cold weather. No.
No, look, and we understand that. You know what I mean? It's you've got to have the right gear. You've got to have the right mindset as well. Because this time of year it can be pretty gnarly out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it gets wild and woolly. Like the weekend just gone was some of the biggest surf that I've seen at the Flinders Bar. There's only been one time that it was bigger than that. There's a sandbar out in Flinders down here, and when it gets wild, it gets wild.
Yeah.
Like there was two,
Like
three.
we've been pretty much blessed up in Queensland with some. The last month has been absolutely outstanding weather. There has been some waves, but nothing major compared to I would imagine what would be down south with you guys. Um, we've had some decent swell and the odd little wave, but I would imagine the likes of Tessa and Paul and Fred and that they would all probably give you some, feedback on exactly how bad it is or how good it's been. Oh well, Tessa can't obviously because she can't go out just now with her shoulder, but
Yeah, she's a bit injured at the moment.
yeah, I think
Looking
Paul's still
forward
been
to
going out
her
though.
back out on
Yeah,
play.
yeah, she's still been going out.
But yeah, all year round we still like go out, and as you know now, the boat ramps are easier to access. There's no one there. It's ghost town.
That's true.
We can't park ourselves.
That's true.
So there's advantages sometimes. On another note, occasionally the fog's caught us out on a couple of rides.
Yep.
Where the day before everything looks splendid early in the morning. The day that we want to go out for a ride, we go down there and you can't see
shit.
one end of the car park to the other type of thing.
Yep. And you're not going to get that in a weather forecast.
No.
Nah.
It's a bit hit and miss sometimes. It's a time of year.
Yeah. But it's always worthwhile going out.
So you've obviously been jet skiing for a few years now.
Gaz a lot more than me. I've only been jet skiing for about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably jumping solidly for 2.
Yep.
And involved with the Wave Junkies page probably only about a year and a half. I only started riding with Gaz for about a year and a half ago.
Right.
We met through the Vic Ski Riders page.
Yep.
Through a couple of guys through there, a couple of local blokes, good crew and that. And yeah, we sort of had a love and passion for the waves.
We hit it off well.
Not a love, but you know what I mean.
We hit it off.
And just enjoy hitting the surf breaks instead of going for the big, long rides all the time.
So what about yourself then? How long have you been jet ski riding?
Maybe 15 years, something like that, with different, seeing different people come and go into the actual group.
Yeah.
Like with the Wave Junkies, around about 2013 is when Jan and I started off that particular page. Before that, do you remember Oz PWC and the different bulletin boards and all that? Yeah, that was before the Facebook days. So we were still around in those days to like to
I'll be honest, I only really became more aware of Wave Junkies probably about 12 months ago. 12 to 18 months ago was when I first started to see a lot more of it. And that was mainly because of Pete pushing it. And I kept seeing his name popping up all the time. To me, I always got the impression it was just something that had just started. but that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to have been around for quite a while.
It's been around for a while, but people come and go. Families start. People still like injure themselves. Different parts of your time in life. So yeah, it's been good, and there's been sort of plenty of changes. Pete's a good addition to the Wave Junkies. He's really loves the social interaction.
Yes, well,
We call him Fluffy sometimes.
yeah, that's my nickname, Fluffy, because
Listen, what happens in the Junkies stays in the Junkies, okay?
flicking through and how, communicating with people and liking this and love heart and that and thumbs up. Yeah, you're doing really well. Oh, that's fantastic, buddy. And that's what I'm really about is that sense of community and growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I find interesting is it's really hard to get people that are connected to the page to post their jumps. I'm sick and tired of seeing my stuff. I live my stuff, yeah?
Yep.
I want to see what everyone else around the world is doing.
Exactly.
I want to see what it doesn't matter if it's a 1 foot high or a 20-foot high jump. It's all relevant to the page as long as it's a jump. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see.
Exactly.
I've
been like we've been like that as well. When we were speaking earlier on about how we started this up, it was mainly about trying to get people together and just getting everyone talking about jet skiing in general, not just wave jumping or wreck rides or racing. It was just like I wanted it to kind of come across more as a big community and a big group and say this is what we're all about. It's one big community, support each other no matter what it is you're doing. Let's communicate and get to know each other and get a mutual respect for what everybody does. I've always felt like having watched the racing, for example, for a little while. There's always been quite a bit of a lot of needle and a lot of bad mouthing of each other, and the perceived view that things are not always what they should be, and underhanded tactics and people gaining unfair advantage and just generally bad mouthing some people and then others just denying it it's even existing when sometimes it is actually existing. So it's more about just trying to say, listen, we're all in this together. We're all meant to be pushing in the same direction. We want to try and grow the sport and PWC riding in general in a more positive light. Let's get rid of the bullshit. Let's get rid of the baggage, and let's try and move on and try and collectively
lift each other up.
pick each other up, support each other. One day you could come out and support guys out in the wave jumping, and then the next week you could be up at Clontarf or somewhere else down in Melbourne, down in Victoria, supporting the guys doing the racing, that kind of thing, it's just one big community. Like you look at some of the big groups in America, they have massive groups of people all socially interacting with each other, and there's not, like, I've got no doubt there's probably is some bad words being said about some of them, but the way they portray it, it's just positive. Yeah,
comes across better.
There'll probably be a lot of sniping in the background. Yeah, exactly.
Australia could do better in what they're doing.
And that's correct. That's what I'm hoping to. Like, I'm not going to be the answer to it all, and same as you guys are not going to be the answer to it all. But if we can all pull together as far as under the collective group, whether it be in using this or whether it be using your platform, or any other of the social media platforms, and we're all sharing and supporting each other, then I think it's got to be a good thing for everyone, and just to kind of get us moving forward. And for people on the outside looking in, they just see hoons, almost like bikies, that kind of thing. They just look at it and think negatively about it and just think it's really bad.
Well, there's always a bad few in a bunch.
You're always going to get it, but that doesn't just apply to PWC. You've only got to ride out sometimes, and you look at the boating channels, and all the bloody fishermen have got their boats in the boating channels. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not exactly clear channels. But they don't get a bad name.
When we come across different people at the boat ramp, especially during winter and the off season, they often ask us, "Oh, what are you doing?" And we go, "Yep, going out around the corner, 10, 15 k's away, playing in the surf, the back beaches, out of harm's way, out of people's way, and that. And that's a lot of our response is we're not playing 10, 20, 50, 100 meters offshore doing donuts, annoying the locals. Yeah. You launch from the boat ramp.
Exactly. You're not close to, you're not close to shore. You're not causing a disturbance to locals. You're well enough out the way that it's never going to get seen by anyone. So, and if it does, it'll be from a great distance. So, yeah. Listen, who's Tom James?
That's my son.
Is it? I've got his video here. What a cracking video it is.
He used to ride
the drone one.
Yeah.
It was posted 4 days ago. I'm gonna see if I can run this on here while you guys are talking, and and then that way everybody gets a chance to see it. It won't have sound because obviously we're talking, but I was blown away by the quality of it. It was just an amazing picture, an amazing video. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just let that run while we're talking.
That's fine. That's fine. He used to ride with us since the age of 12. He's 23 now.
Wow.
And
is he not right now, or is he?
He's in a different phase, chasing girls. Yeah.
I thought you did that when you were younger.
Yeah. 4-wheel driving, hunting, other recreational activities and that. So,
fair enough.
But he's got his answer like toys. But no, it's good. He used to sort of come out with us on a regular basis.
No, it's a nice looking video. Huh? He's got you guys coming off. I'm assuming it's you guys that are in the video.
You're assuming correctly.
Sorry, I'm just watching it on a bigger screen here as well. It's just like,
I've
watched it twice already, and it's just, it's really, really nice. Really
I was for a little bit of a letdown on that day, but it was what it was, you know.
Yeah. He gave us an opportunity. Tom gave us an opportunity. He goes, Dad, when you guys are in the back beaches, give us a tinkle, and I'll come down with the drone and that. So it definitely gives a different dimension in that to the actual sport, doesn't it?
Would that be? Yeah, definitely. Is that sunset?
Sunrise.
Right.
Good. We were there since about 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, so it's not too bad then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had visions of him being up at 6 o'clock in the morning to take the drone footage.
Pretty much.
Well, it wasn't long after that he possibly left home because we're about an hour's drive away from our location there.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. Really good. And it's got the higher vantage point as well. Really puts a good perspective on the jumps itself.
For sure.
Like, I don't know how you guys could get into wave jumping at all. Like, I know it's an adrenaline thing. It's not my cup of tea, but
it's more like an addiction.
Each to their own. I can see the adrenaline rush that you would get from it.
It depends what you used to do before. If you're into motocross or motorbikes, etc., this is sort of like a nice transition from there.
And is that your background?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So too many injuries from motorbike riding, motorbike racing, riding in the bush, hitting trees.
Hit trees.
Going down, don't move out the way. Yeah, a lot of fantastic people you meet through your hobbies.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's cars, whether it's motorbikes, whether it's dirt, it's road, and also in the jet ski community, you meet plenty of fantastic people in that.
Hey, listen, as you travel through the community, you're always going to meet people that you don't necessarily like, but you respect them for what they do. But you do meet a hell of a lot of really good people as well. I've met a lot of people I would never have ever met before had it not been for jet skiing. This platform alone has allowed me to meet you two, even though it's not in the flesh. Meeting you two for the first time, has been really, really good as well. And it's just been the same with everyone else that I've had on these podcasts over the weeks. Just meeting various people that I've never ever met before. I would never have ever met them had it not been for the jet ski community. So I think in that sense, I've kind of ticked the box as far as my intentions for this platform was to kind of reach out to everybody in the community, and 2 seconds, and yeah, and just meet a load of different people and bring everybody together so that we can put faces to names.
On that note, meeting people, etc. There's a group in Canberra I can sort of put you in touch with post this, but for many years they always organised an annual event somewhere around Australia.
Okay.
And I've met lots of fantastic people along those sort of trips too. So we've had trips in Queensland,
yep,
where the guys have organised in tree. So people from South Australia, from Victoria, New South Wales, and that we'd sort of travel for Cup weekend, Melbourne Cup weekend.
yep.
And sometimes we've taken 2 weeks off, travelling to Queensland and then travelling back along the actual coastline.
Yep.
People that you meet along those journeys, you make some lifelong friends.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm trying to achieve, because there's a lot of people want to do different stuff. Like here in Queensland, we've got a bunch of people who are pretty much laboriously, continually doing the same type of runs, and they're going to the same areas, but they're now starting to think, I want to get something else, I want to do something else, I want to go somewhere else. So hopefully they'll reach out to the likes of you guys and come down to Victoria, even down to Sydney, wherever, like at the moment we're planning on organising a trip up to the Wet Sundays with a bunch of the guys down here in Queensland, southeast Queensland, but I've had to can it for the year because I'm going back to Scotland at Christmas and New Year. I can't do both of them at the same time because my annual leave's at a premium, and
Yep.
I'm needing it all to go back to Scotland. But
Of course.
I'm definitely going to organise it for next year and make it happen next year. So we've got Morn Durand and Rebecca Hales up in the Wet Sundays who I'm going to speak with them. We've got them on a big group chat, all the ones that are interested. So. Like by all accounts, like if you guys are if you're saying that some of the guys in Canberra sometimes regularly go for rides, then we could invite them and you guys as well if it's something you'd be interested in coming up for. So
it's about raising that awareness. Like the guys in Canberra always invite me to their annual rides, whether I can go along or not. But again, I make that awareness around, and if there are people that are interested, they can join that group.
yes.
But really, they're fantastic to organise. They're a fantastic bunch of people that are really organised to deal with. You hire a beautiful big place that 10 or 12 of you can stay in. There's plenty of room behind a big fence to put all the jet skis in the evening behind, and that. It's really well done.
Yeah, so that's what we were looking at for somewhere up in Whitsunday. So when I had Rebecca and Morn on the show, I said to them what would be the best place for you to stay, and they recommended a place up there that caters for all the skis. You can actually flush them out as well. There's plenty of accommodation for staying there, so it's just a question of getting in there and getting it booked early enough. So that's definitely one trip that we're going to look at for next year, and what we do from there, who knows? So whether we come down south or head down that way and come down your way or whatever, then we'll work that out as we go. But it's more about just getting everybody meeting each other first. And if somebody watching the show decides to reach out to you guys and says, hey, I want to come down for a week and come out with you, then fantastic.
110%.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And there's been times that I've travelled to Sydney and Queensland, and I've reached out to the different groups, and the locals take you around. So we're always inviting for like-minded people, whether they want a tour or whether they want to come in the actual surf. It doesn't matter. We can accommodate those needs or put them in touch with people that can help them out if you're busy that weekend, for sure.
Like, to be honest, if I came down to you guys, I wouldn't go wave jumping, but I'd certainly come out and watch what you're doing and try and take some images and shots and stuff like that. It's I'd be keen to see what you're doing. I've done it before even down at the Gold Coast, where I've just sat and watched the guys doing the jumping. So it's really I admire the guys doing it. For me it takes a lot of guts for you guys to get up there and do it because it's pretty high risk.
Look, it is, but some of the locations we go to, we do an adventure ride to get there. We might travel 60 kilometres on the water to get to a destination, then play around with it, and then travel another direction around the island to sort of come back. So some of the people that don't want to sort of like do wave jumping, they'll sort of like sit back, they'll have a little sort of like chat amongst themselves, etc., etc. But we definitely sort of like do adventures and go around, and you jump along the way. It's not necessarily just jump type of thing, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get the perception that that's all that's all you're about. That
No,
it's just
not
about
at all.
jumping
Not
away.
at all.
I think that's a perception a lot of people do get. So they just think, it's not for me, you know. Whereas you guys are obviously saying that it's not just about the riding, the jumping, it's about the ride as well. So
There are times that we do that. Yeah, we take extra fuel, we plan things, we check the actual weather ahead of time, we make sure that we're sort of like geared up. We might have our sort of like, our EPIRBs with us, our different sort of like safety gear, for sure. And to ensure that we're not entering an area that might be too dangerous for the majority of people in the actual group. But again, it's more about people reaching out, and if you don't reach out, then you'll never sort of like know.
Yeah. Who's doing the hands-free jumps in the video? Your son's video. Who? You not fancy doing it yourself?
No, I do a few other different bits and pieces. So
Are you the one that throws your feet back?
yeah, that's it. That'd be me.
Right.
So the Broncos, they're called Supermans, aren't they?
That's right.
They're called Supermans.
Yeah.
Listen, have you never cracked your knees or anything like that when you're bringing your feet when you're bringing them back in?
Yeah, there is a real risk of that. A few times I have almost not made it back to the jet ski in time for the landing. On the weekend just gone on Sunday, I almost didn't get back in and I almost cleaned my legs up. So it's really all about timing with that one and it depends on the size of the wave, when it lifts up. Have you hit it too late? Have you stuffed it? So there has been a few times where I almost have broken bones, but haven't got there yet. Luckily, so far. And because the problem is ditching the ski on that sort of a move, it's not an option. You need to get back in straight away. So.
Yeah, exactly. So how would you go about starting a jump? To build, obviously start small and then just kind of gradually work your way up, or how did you get into it? Did you guys just fuck it, I'm just going to go for it? You know what I mean?
No. The Aussie way. Let's send it.
No, not for me. Definitely not for me. It took me a fair few years, you know what I mean, to get to that. It was more playing in the bay to begin with, and then building it up from there. You know what I mean? And then if you get the addiction, then it goes from small to medium to large, and then large to scary, which is where we're at the moment.
And you're at the scary at the moment?
Yeah, we're into scary at the moment. So that's, but that's just pushing the boundaries with what some people like to stay in a comfort zone. Me personally, I'm trying to push my boundaries all the time with my riding. And that's what I enjoy. That's not for everyone.
And how's the wear and tear on the jet skis?
Well,
good question. There's things that fall off,
break off.
There are things that manufacturers have made good enough.
No, they just haven't got it right yet, really.
That's it.
They haven't got it right. They're really
in other words, the skis are not robust enough, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
They need to be made stronger.
Maybe you found a niche for the market then. Maybe you guys can come up with something.
Oh look, there's different.
You could use all those Chinese parts on just in front. They're expendable. They're expendable. When trial and error.
Different models, different brands have different problems, but you can.
Let's go through them then.
You can. I won't mention brands and stuff. You can crack hulls, smash hulls. tear your front bonnet, tear your front hood off. Sometimes the rear seat, the second seat, has been known to sort of just unbuckle and end up in the surf type of thing. So there are definitely, there's sometimes at least a couple of $100 every weekend.
Listen, probably add an extra zero onto that.
Well, that's in case the missus is listening.
Hey, it's tax returns time soon, so hey. How was your tax return this year, darling? Oh, not as good as previous years.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get that past mine. Definitely not. She's going to watch the podcast too, and I'm in trouble.
So it'll be jet ski parts you'll be buying anyways. That's what I'm kind of hinting at. Yeah.
Space. When something sort of like doesn't go right. Or
wave junkie merchandise.
But no, it's definitely all about the actual fun and the adventure.
Definitely, and I think anything jet ski related has to be like that as well, though. Whether it be ski jumping or racing or whatever, it's people do it for various reasons. You know, I enjoy the wreck riding simply because you can get to places that you wouldn't normally get to. It's nice and social. Always try and go out with people that you want to go out with as well. Like you're not just tagging along for the sake of it. Yeah, and you guys will be doing the same thing. You know, and you enjoy what you're doing. You like hanging out with each other. Yeah, it's a good way to spend a day. Keeps you out of trouble. Keeps you away from the missus as well.
It does. It does.
Sorry, did I just say that there?
Yeah, you're a little bit too loud. A little bit too loud. But we integrate and we mingle with different other groups that might do long river rides, camping spots, around the bay, around Phillip Island, around Wilson's Prom, sometimes even interstate. So
have you guys hooked up with Doug Cash?
I know of him, but I've never ridden him.
Andrew Thompson?
Yes, Mr. Tomo's from Canberra, yeah?
Yes, that's him. Yeah, that's the one.
So Tomo's one of those guys that's part of the Skifari, the annual event. He's those guys in Canberra and Tomo and all that stuff.
Yep.
For sure. I know Tomo.
Right, okay.
From a couple of Jetski adventures.
Yeah. And then there's obviously the likes of Dean Freeman and who normally does runs up the Murray River quite a bit, and
so
George Marquis.
Back to Doug Cash.
Doug Cash. Yeah, Doug, yeah.
Doug came. I introduced and another colleague of mine. We went out through the Port Phillip Heads with Doug the first time, and he found out a momentous occasion.
Yep.
And I met Doug, and fantastic. I've ridden with him quite a few times, and he had a few things on his bucket list to do, like that trip to Tassie and that.
Tassie, that was something else, yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was good, and he's done it a few times now.
Yeah.
The first time they did it, he invited me. It wasn't on my bucket list 10 years earlier. It would have been, and that. So I'm quite happy to observe.
Yeah. No, I done good with that one. Andrew, I can't remember who the other one. Oh God, I can't remember the other one now. Shit, Andrew and that's terrible. I had them on a few weeks back.
Yeah, you did too.
Who the hell was that? Fuck, I can't remember who it was. That's terrible.
But yeah, we're aware of each other. With some of us has ridden with each other and that, and then you work out what niche of riding that you still like.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
I guess again it comes down to the characters in the groups as well. At the end of the day, there's some characters in groups that you might not necessarily want to associate with for whatever reason, you know.
We try and we're old enough now, and we've been around for a long time, Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce, that we don't worry about that. Let's just go riding.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy it for what it is.
You know what I mean? Let's enjoy it for what it is. So over a 15-year period, you see a lot of things.
Yeah.
With different groups. One group dismantling itself and then reforming somewhere else, and then that turning into 3 groups because of that.
Yeah.
And now we just say, let's go riding.
There's been a bit of that here. There's been a bit of that in Queensland. There's been a bit of dilution with various groups, you know, and I think like you say, people want to go out and just enjoy the riding, and it doesn't matter who you're with. You just go out. But there are some groups up that go out and they kind of stick to themselves. You know, they don't necessarily want to share it with others. They just want to do their own little thing. They don't want it to get too big. Like at the end of the day, I understand it doesn't get too big because a lot of people don't want to go out in large groups anyway, and I understand that. But there's a lot of people that want to go out with certain groups because those groups are more experienced, or they like what they're doing, and they want to join in to see how they go on with it. So unfortunately, they're not getting the part. Like I'm needing to go out a lot more myself. I was out a week past Friday, and that's the first time I'd been out in a long time. So I'm guilty of.
Now she's known as Australia's favourite nurse, and she's not only one of the.
Sorry.
What you
Yeah.
do?
No, the video stopped and I actually went on to the very next video, so I need to get it off actually. So it's on the screen. You'll see it tomorrow.
He went to bedroom cam.
Nah, not quite. Doggy cam. Nah.
Yes.
No, it's
But
it's just
getting back.
yeah, it's just a case. You want to go out with people and just enjoy what's around you. It's like I said earlier. I enjoy what everybody does. It's just a case of getting out with the people that you enjoy being out with the most, or getting to the places that you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Definitely. Look, even though that I like river rides, I've had sometimes bad luck hitting stumps, hitting tree stumps. I've had bad luck being T-boned on the river, knocked out unconscious, knocked out cold, things like that.
Jeez,
And sometimes in the larger groups, that's why, sometimes I mightn't do those larger, so like river rides, because I've had carnage on the actual ski.
Yeah.
And then it might take 3 months to get it repaired or 6 months to get it repaired and that. And then you still go, you know what? Maybe not this time. That's bad.
You've got to kind of measure it because like these big rides, you can't have too much and too many in a big ride because it just gets, like you say, it's too much carnage. It's too much like a washing machine. Like you look at that recent Dunedin ride over in Florida, and they had 400 skis in there.
That's a lot.
And it was just an absolute washing machine.
Mm.
It's just like that's way too much. You know what I mean?
All the water was just white, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was white for kilometres, the width-wise.
And as we know, riding on something like that, and then amongst all that, it's just an absolute nightmare.
But if it was to happen as an annual event where you wanted to sort of get the footage, get lots of riders together and that, I'd be in.
Yeah, I get that. Like we're trying to do that with the Queensland with the Santa Claus ride for charity every year that we do.
Yeah.
We try and get the most number of Santas. The highest number.
That's fantastic.
So we do that for the kids in care, and that's actually coming up pretty soon. So we'll be hopefully there'll be an announcement out on that one pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that usually happens in December. So
Did you get the record last year? Was it just shy? Did you get the world record last year, or was it just shy?
The first year we tried it, we had the numbers. But because of the way it had to be verified, we didn't have the evidence to back it. They couldn't, they wouldn't say, yep, you've got the record. So last year, I wasn't part of last year's, but they did it again last year. They had more in it because it was capped at 150 the first year for insurance purposes. But because the first year went fine without any insurance, without any issues, they were allowed to increase the numbers, and insurance were happy to take on the extra load.
Okay.
But they had more. I think they had, what did they have? I think it was about 180 maybe, something like that. But they're still waiting to get it verified as to whether it's legit, whether it's happened, or, whether we have it or not. So we'll have to wait and see. So I would imagine there'll be an announcement on that one at some point when we find out. But
what kind of money do they raise for charities?
I think last year, the year I was involved with it in year one, it was just over 10 grand. I was actually just short of 10 grand, and then it got topped up with a shortfall. I think it was.
And the charity that it goes to?
It goes to a caring for kids in care.
Good.
It's a girl, Jane Padden runs it. She a girl on the Gold Coast. She runs a charity. She's been running it for a few years now, and she jet skis a little bit herself, and she came up with the idea to do it, and he contacted Jeff Lakeford to try and get it organised and off the ground, and he helped out with a couple of other people to help
Good.
get it off the ground. So I think they're just going to roll that every year, just as a charity fundraiser. I don't think it really gets about the record now. I think it's more about just doing the right for charity. I think
Yep.
I think that's more important.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny because you see all the skis dressed up. You know, all the dressed. You know, they're all designed, jazzed up like, Santa's sleigh and all that kind of stuff. And
Oh,
like
good.
I did mine like a reindeer.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I had the brown fur across the bonnet of the ski,
Yeah.
with the big red nose and the antlers. So I've got a picture. When we come off air, when I stop recording, I'll send a picture through to you and let you see it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
But it's a good event. It's good. It's good fun to be involved with. You know, everybody gets involved in it. The Rotary Club gets involved, and yeah, it's a good thing. It's a great cause, especially at that time of year. So, like, I don't know if you guys get involved in any kind of charity rides or that down there. Is there anything like that down there or no?
We, at time to time, there are different groups that do organise it. It's been a bit of a while since there was a reasonable size charity ride,
Yeah.
but it has happened in the past, yes.
And are they usually well received or?
Yeah, definitely well received. Again, trying to one of the last ones was trying to raise enough money so a house could be modified so that one of the children could live in it with their special needs, etc., etc.
That's great.
So it's the publicity for it is all positive, definitely.
Yeah, and again, that's where this is where this platform comes in as well. Like, as far as what I've tried to do here, like we've had Brad Doyle was on a couple of weeks ago. He was doing a charity ride up in Maroochydore up to Harvey Bay, and it was to try and raise money for Bayside Transformations, which are a drug and rehabilitation program, and he's actually been through the program.
Yeah.
So he was at a point where he was needing help, and he went to them, and they helped him out. So it's something that was pretty close to his heart. So he decided they were having to raise money so they could get the deposit for to pay for the building that they're in, because the owners were going to sell it.
Yeah.
And they were wanting to get the money for it to try and buy it off them. So I think they're pretty well on. They're over 100 grand they've managed to raise so far. So pretty good. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's good.
And look, I guess that's where communication between all of the groups that you're affiliated with, whether you like the people a lot or just go riding with them occasionally, it's keeping that community and sense of community alive, and the channel's open. So when you do these big events, you can have a lot of people involved, you know?
Yeah, and that's the whole idea. Like, if there's any events like that on the go, get them get it mentioned and get it out there for other people who would otherwise not know about it. Because, like, with Brad's particular charity, nobody knew. Nobody had any idea about it. And I picked it up because we had one rider in one of the groups had shared it. And no one made it. Nobody really paid much attention to it, I don't think, because there was no comments or likes, or there wasn't a much of it. And I picked it up and got in contact with Brad himself, and then I just said to him, "Here, what's to go?" And he told me, and I added him as a friend, and then just kind of got speaking to him and chatting to him about stuff.
Good.
And then he says, "Oh, he actually invited me up, but I couldn't go because I would have done the ride with him, but after seeing the
you were going to Scotland again.
After seeing the footage, though, I'm kind of happy I didn't do it because it was a bit gnarly.
Oh, okay. Got out of control.
He did 209 kilometres and it took him 7 hours, but it was a bit rough.
Sounds like an adventure.
Sounds like our weekend ride.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
He set off at 6 o'clock, and then his fan club were all sitting waiting at the beach at Harvey Bay for him.
Yeah.
Oh, his cheerleaders with the pom-poms as well.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
But there are some fantastic characters and fantastic people that, put their heart and soul in that, and we just need to create an awareness, and if we can help out, we're more than happy to sort of do things like that.
Always.
Hey, listen, guys, it's the same with Lindsay Warner, who did that trip around Australia last week that I had on. He's the same. Like, people would have caught wind of his story and I'm going around Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was
But
following you.
yeah, I followed him as well, and I was actually quite, I didn't realise how much COVID had actually affected him as far as the delays it caused for his trip. But I only knew that because I got speaking to him. Whereas, like, people wouldn't be aware of that unless you contact these people and speak to them about what they've done.
Mm.
So I thought, well, why not get him on and let him share part of his journey and his story
Good.
and share what he's doing. So, and that's what this is all about, So it's the same with you guys. Get you guys on for the same reason, because nobody knows much about what you guys do except that you jump waves, So
No, that's right. And if you want to give it a go, it's not about how high, how long. It's more that if you want to sort of like join us, and we like sort of like representing, posting up sort of like pictures, because it's about your moment.
Yeah.
It's about the community's moment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about pumping the community up. It's about getting.
We see plenty of things happening across the community, and there's a lot of people go, wow, and it gets shared across all the platforms by a lot of different people. When it catches the eye, but again, we don't know the background behind these people that are involved, that are doing these things. So when something catches the eye and gets a bit prominent, that's when I kind of say, well, hey, let's see what these people are all about, So so that's when I reach out to them,
No.
So,
And thanks for this opportunity also to meet yourself and to sort of
hey,
get it out.
I know we spoke earlier, and I know that in the future you're looking at like we were talking about possibly getting you back on in the future about safety gear.
Yeah.
So it was something that was mentioned. So definitely eager to explore that one, and we'll pursue that one further, and we'll get you back on at some point to talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be some like good. Just to raise an awareness what safety things we think about, and we need to prepare for ourselves, and then we need to engage so that if things do turn upside down, you can be sort of like semi-prepared for the event for sure.
Yeah. Well, having seen Tess, Tess didn't do that technically doing jet ski.
No, I don't think. I think it might have.
That was falling off a bar stool allegedly. Although it wasn't in a pub, believe it or not. Well, she said it wasn't in a pub. It was apparently at some convention that she was working at. So she sat on the bar stool and fell off it.
Oh, hang on a second. I can't remember I remember seeing the posts of it.
Yeah.
Can't remember what event it was.
Yeah, it was some promotional convention thing or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like an expo.
Because she was standing there on the stand doing the. Yes, I remember that.
Off the chair she went.
So that's where it happened. All right. Okay.
Apparently that's where. Well, allegedly that's where it happened.
Alcohol involved.
Only Tessa would know that one. She's probably going to keep that one to herself. She might confirm it. She might confirm it when this goes to air.
Oh, you never know.
But then I saw Fred. Fred had a big, massive gash in his chin, and he had a helmet on. So it just shows you that even wearing proper gear, you can still pick up the odd cuts and bruises, and like I get from your point of view, as well, smashing your knees, smashing your ankles is always a risk, And if you get that,
we've had one neck break.
You've had what?
One neck break as well.
Oh wow! Okay. How'd you deal with that?
That was a gentleman. Well, it was a gentleman that used to ride with us, and he was riding a Spark, and he plateaued off the jump, and instead of landing tail down and breaking the water with the jet ski, the arse end of the jet ski, I should say, he landed flat, and the compression of landing flat from height went up through the ski and into his body.
Yeah.
And was he wearing a neck brace at the time? I'm pretty sure he was. I think he had.
Yeah, I can imagine the impact that would have had. It would have just went right through him.
Yeah, and
but yeah, he broke his neck. Didn't know he was basically had no feeling in his fingers for a while, etc., feeling very giddy and numb. And long story short, he rode on the way back like a cut cat. Went to hospital and he had broken neck, and then through the front they had to put a titanium cage and bolts and nuts and all that stuff.
Wow.
But he still loves the actual sport, but it just like shows you that things can happen so like pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Pretty
I think
quick.
I think a lot of people are aware of it, and I think that's what puts a lot of people off the thought of doing something like what you guys do with the jumping. It's a bit too intimidating for some people, you know. You
Look,
guys,
on that
obviously,
note,
you guys are made of better stuff.
Oh, look, not really, but we also, we also take our hats off to a lot of the freestylers that are out there that do some of those magnificent sort of like jumps and the injuries that they sort of like go through, the popping of the knees, the ankles, and all that stuff. But again, we've got a great respect for that, and in the Wave Junkies, we're just trying to create more of an awareness and share different sort of like skill sets.
Yeah, I remember when we had Tess and Fred and Paul and that on, that's what they were talking about as well. It's like, give it a go. If it's not for you, then hey, you just walk away from it and just enjoy the riding as you would normally do. But at least try and give it a go. Don't. And I was saying to them as well, like let's not judge what you do unfairly, because what you do is pretty good. From what I can see, I admire what you guys are doing. Like all the jumpers, I admire all what they do. Is it for me? No, it's not for me. But it doesn't mean I don't like what I see. So hats off to you guys.
Yeah, and thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah.
Thanks for that opportunity. But the other thing that we like going out in extreme weather, extreme conditions, choppy conditions, and
pushing the envelope. Right?
So not only jumping, just pushing it through those and see where the man. Waves. Yeah, see where the man and what survives. Man, what breaks first, man or machine?
It's normally the machine.
Probably the machine. Yeah, most likely. You want the machine to go faster, and it won't go faster for you.
And that's a lot of the times where we sort of like pick up on manufacturing deficiencies.
Yeah. Good word.
What manufacturer, what hull, where does it sort of like give up? Under what conditions type of
that was actually pretty well put over there, because you've kind of waived any chance of any liability from any manufacturers there. You did well with that description. Well done, sir.
No worries. That's good. That's good. Definitely.
Listen, before we wrap things, what we'll do is that you guys, I normally let everybody have the time to just thank people, supporters, if you have sponsors, whatever, manufacturers and people that you go to get your skis fixed up or whatever. So before you go, I'll let you guys have the opportunity to say what you need to say, and then we'll wrap things up and let you go.
Well, my biggest sponsor is my wife, yeah? I like to thank
I'll second that one.
Wife, my missus,
I'd like to
and all that
second
stuff. Thank you, darling.
Yes. The ends are good.
Boss, look, I got what?
And mine's a bit thicker.
Yeah, that's funny because so's mine. Mine is quite big. She must have a big thumb.
Look, in my particular case, I run a business called Watercraft Servicing. That's what all this stuff is here for. That's how I can fix my own stuff and pimp it and make it so like better. Yeah. So for sure, when our young friend over here, Pete, needs to go sort of like higher, further, longer, we might need to sort of like advancing with something like this. Bolt this on the inside somewhere and sort of like see whether it can.
Mate, you're landing on the space station.
Well, look, and that's what it comes down to. And this is the issue that I have. I can't go as high as I want to because I'm concerned about the money issues I'm going to have in fixing things. If I didn't have a money issue, I'd go 3 times higher. I would
Yeah.
send it further and higher, but I can't because if I go as hard as I want to, it's going to break.
It's an expensive hobby. There's no doubt about it if things go wrong.
Yeah.
And it would be 10 times worse if you're racing or you're wave jumping.
Yeah. So I'm getting held
So
back.
there's always that chance
In a
of
way.
something, and I think that's what puts a lot of people off as well. Giving it a go. It's like, oh, I gotta.
So what Pete's trying to say,
Is
and
if
what
we
you're
had-
trying to say, what you're trying to give us the opportunity is, if you want us to test your hulls out,
If you
come
want
on
us
down.
to put it under pressure and really give it a red hot go, sponsor us. We will test it thoroughly and properly anytime.
Set yourself,
What goes up?
Send yourself
come
up in the
down.
stratosphere.
Yeah. No worries at all.
But it's good to sort of like mention that in that, yeah, you can sort of like push it the boundaries a little bit sort of like further, but there's carnage you're going to have where you might be out of action for sort of like 6 months because of the vessel. And that's no good for your relationship. That's no good for your marriage.
It's not good for your own personal health.
No, it's not. It's not. Being out of the water sucks. Big time. I've been out of the water 4 months this so far.
Withdrawal symptoms, plays with the mental health. It's opening up a
100%.
Can of worms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, thanks for that sort of like opportunity and that. But down here in Melbourne, if anyone wants to come along for a ride or an adventure or want to give it a go,
Anytime.
interstate or that, message us, send us a message if you're still like visiting, and we'll either help you out or put you in touch with someone that can.
Exactly. All right. Cool. No problem, guys. Guys, if you're looking to hook up with these boys, look them up. Wave Junkies, Gaz and Pete. There'll be a few others that are probably posting stuff and sharing stuff as well. So yeah, definitely look them up and they'll point you in the right direction. If they can't help you themselves, they'll do what they can for you. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for your time, despite the little tech issue at the start.
We worked it out.
We sorted it out.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll get you back
Okay,
on in
then.
the future, and we won't leave it too long till we get you back on. So
We'll look at some safety things when we're out in the surf.
yes. All right.
Cheerio.
Yes, Pete. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Australia.
Take
Thanks,
care.
the world.
Love you all.
See ya. Oh boy. So there we go. The mad Jetski Pete and Gaz Kroozer. As you can gather, I had to pre-record that again. Blame Pete for that one. And Jeff, my apologies if you didn't realise that it was actually a pre-recorded segment. I got a message offline from Jeff just saying, how are you managing to comment and post without moving your hands and stuff like that? And then he realised it was a pre-recorded segment. So I had to do it because Pete got his dates all mixed up and he wasn't available for tonight. So he's tuning in from wherever he is, able to watch little snippets here and there. So my apologies to everyone who thinks that was live. It's pre-recorded, but it has been broadcast as live, which is why I've been able to comment on certain things. So, Pete, I love your comment about the therapist costing you $500 a week. Definitely cheaper than a jet ski. Well, that is your jet ski. Yeah. So. Anne Marie, I think you've come up with a great idea for one of my future episodes where I think we should talk about jet ski injuries. So Anne Marie, if you fancy coming on, give me a thumbs up and I'll hook up with you later on and we can talk about when we're going to do it. Hey, listen, that segment ran on a lot longer than I anticipated it to run on. And normally I like to keep them to like 20, 30 minutes, but we literally did just chew the fat and just talk about all kinds of stuff. And I wasn't even keeping track of time. And I've actually got to a certain point in the segment where I looked at the clock and I realized how long it was running for and thought, shit, I need to kind of wrap things up sooner rather than later. We could have chatted for much longer. So, Pete, guys, thanks for your time, and it was an absolute blast having a catch up with you, and we'll do it again soon. So, Anne Marie, you need to give me a thumbs up whether you want to do an injury special on the podcast. You're too shy. I don't believe it. That's not what Fred says. How about you come? I'd suggest you come on with Fred, but but I don't know if that's maybe a good idea. Listen, guys, thanks for everybody's time. We've actually had pretty good numbers tonight. We've had 15. We've been averaging 15, 16 deep through the steps. So we're kind of up above the averages, so that's been pretty good. And I thank everybody for tuning in. I would have loved to have done it live, Rocky. I would have loved to have done it. I would have preferred to have done it live. It certainly makes it a lot more engaging. But we'll do that again in future. The only time my hope in the future is that any time I'm doing a pre-recorded segment, it's because I've had to do it because of the time difference, or genuinely in Bailey's case, he just didn't have the time during the week because he was heading off out to America at the end of the week. And it was just really difficult for him to come on during the weekend. So I had to pre-record that on a Sunday. So I do have some other people I want to catch up with who are actually overseas. And I will have to pre-record them simply because of the time difference. But there's no way around it. I'm asking them to have to get up really early, which is something they're not going to do. And if I want to get them on air, then I'm going to have to pre-record it. But I certainly won't be pre-recording them to last almost an hour. But I think it just demonstrates how much we can talk about the Jetski in large. So, listen, guys, thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to give a quick shout out. I've never done this. I know I've got the sponsors across the top of the screen. But I've got to thank these guys for really helping make all this happen. Jetski, Jet One Industries, Paul Baisley Heavy Haulage, Shoreline, Yamaha and Sea-Doo, Brisbane Kawasaki and their K-Speed performance division as well. I really want to thank them for helping me out and supporting me. Without their help, this is not possible at all. It's just made it all happen for me. So I really appreciate that. Listen, I'm going to wrap things up, and I'm not going to play a video to finish off the segment. For those of you that have been following the racing lately, on a serious note, some of you may be aware that race rider Eric Francis actually passed away during a race event. I don't want to go into any details about it, and it's a really, I don't know the gentleman myself personally, but I think it's pretty sad that he's now, he's left a young family and his wife. There is a GoFundMe page that's been set up. I can happily share that link if people are interested, and I'll share it on the page on the Jetski Republic page. It's pretty sad state of affairs. There's a lot of conjecture about what actually happened. There's not really any, nobody's really sure. But at the end of the day, a life's been lost, and someone who's been a champion of his sport, a champion of his craft. Like I say, I don't know him, myself personally. I've only caught wind of him lately. It's someone who Bobby Cardone thinks highly of. So I'm going to sign off. Stay safe. Look after each other, whatever you're up to. Have a great time out on the water. But I'm going to just leave you with this image of Eric Francis, and may he rest in peace. Farewell.